Okay, different room in the house, slightly different setup, and I managed to move the curtains just slightly so that I'm not being blinded by the sun. I stay winning. Hello everyone! Welcome back to another video of the chaos that is my existence. I have decided to change the name of the series from Pagan Tea Time to Magic Tea Time because it seems generally more applicable. Today I am drinking a pomegranate raspberry herbal tea in literally my favorite mug that I own because my sister gave me this mug. I love it more than anything. It's great. Shaped like a skull, so you know. And today we are talking about hidden ways to practice magic. Now this is also sometimes referred to as broom closet magic, and broom closet witchcraft and closeted witches, but I have seen some controversy around those titles because it's not quite the same thing to like compare to like being queer and existing as a queer person who has to be in the closet. So I'm just gonna call it hidden witchcraft for simplicity's sake so that nobody gets mad at me. And because like I don't want to like try and compare those two things. I would know. Now before we get into general methods, I want to give a little disclaimer at the beginning of this video. Practicing witchcraft is not worth more than your safety. If you are living in a circumstance where it might just be a little bit uncomfortable if the people around you find out that you're practicing witchcraft, you'll have parents that disapprove, you'll get like grounded or something, or have your phone taken away, and it won't pose any kind of risk to your general safety and your housing or something like that, or like it won't traumatize you if the people around you find out that you're practicing witchcraft. By all means, go for it, do it hidden, do it like in whatever way is safe for you. If you are living in some kind of circumstance where it might pose a risk to your safety, it might pose like a risk to you getting kicked out of your home, it might pose risk to you being forced into things that will like prove traumatizing to you, do not. It's not worth it. You have the rest of your life to practice witchcraft. You have the rest of your life for that. It is not worth more than your safety. Your safety is more important, and I want to be sure that everyone is aware of that. Do not try to put this at value over your safety, because eventually you will hopefully be an adult and you will be able to do this on your own, in your own safe living situation. So, that being said, let's get into some methods of how you can practice witchcraft in a hidden way. Gotta take a moment to sip my tea. I don't have an actual script for this part of the video. I have a general list, so we're gonna be going with the list, and we're gonna have to hope that I don't start rambling. Okay, so the first method that you're probably going to hear the most about in general on the internet as a generally good way to practice witchcraft in secret is sigils, because sigils are an absolutely amazing tool if you are unable to be super open about it. Even if you're able to be super open about it, sigils are amazing. Do not undervalue sigils. They're great. I know that it can kind of seem like a boring thing to do when you want to like do full spell work, but sigils are great. They are powerful. Do not underestimate a good sigil. There are a lot of different ways that you can utilize sigils. You can just draw them on a little piece of paper and hide them somewhere. You can put a sigil in your shoe or in your clothing. You can, if you are the one doing your laundry and no one else is going to be taking like a good long look at the inside of your clothes, something that I have found really helpful is embroidering a sigil into the tag of a shirt or something. Excuse my dog, she is at my lap right now. Another really great thing is if you can burn a sigil at all, if you are in an environment where like maybe you have your own room and you can like burn a sigil safely, practice fire safety, I beg you. So that is a really good method. There's also, you can draw them, like if you're just someone who draws on your skin a lot, you can just do a little sigil, and if someone asks you, hey, what's that weird symbol on your hand? Oh, it's a doodle. I was just messing around with a pen. I got bored. I was distracted. That's a really easy, hey, I was bored and doodling on myself. Really easy to get away with. You can also do, if you wear makeup, you can use sigils in your makeup. Sigils, amazing tool. I love them. If you don't know what sigils are, and if I get a lot of comments asking about sigils, hopefully I can like do another a video about sigil magic in general. If not, I believe that Chaotic Witch Aunt has, I believe that they have a video about sigil magic. Sigils are a very easy thing to track down information on. They're very widespread at this point. Whether or not all that information is accurate is debatable, just across the internet. But Chaotic Witch Aunt in general, good resource for things like sigils. I think that they have a video. I'm gonna check that before I post this clip. I'm going to check that. If they do, I will link that in the description. If not, oops. But sigils are amazing. I love sigils. If you've seen me just like casually in real life and I like have a little doodle on myself, it was probably a sigil. Especially if you like met me at an earlier time in my life when I was trying to be a little bit more discreet. Like at church. Speaking of the overall theme of this video, tea! Tea! Another really great thing that a lot of parents are probably really chill with and that is very discreet is tea. Great. You can use ingredients for different correspondences. Tea is very frequently made out of herbs. Herbal tea, that's what this is. You can use that for correspondences. It's basically a potion. This is a potion. That's what this is. It's a potion. Your tea is a potion. The kitchen, anything that you can find in your kitchen, you can probably use for some kind of witchcraft, especially tea. It's a potion. It makes me so happy. It makes my little gremlin witch brain so happy that I have a potion in my little skull mug. But tea, super useful. Occasionally, tea will be like sort of colorful. You can use that for color correspondences. You can stir in the shape of a sigil. You can stir clockwise to bring intention in and counterclockwise to drive intention, like to drive something away. Tea is very useful. Any beverage you can stir is probably pretty useful for the stirring in intention kind of thing, but tea it's a potion. I'm gonna keep saying that because it brings me so much joy. But tea is a potion. Appreciate your potions. Another thing that is kind of stereotypically witchy but is really easy to hide, candles. Candles are amazing. A lot of people will be really chill with you having candles. That is, if you are in an area where fire is okay. Again, safety, fire safety, I beg you, listen to me about fire safety. But candles, color magic, you can use them for color magic. You can just do a spell with just a plain candle. You can draw a sigil in the candle. I love sigils so much. In case you couldn't tell, I have a thing for sigils. They are great and wonderful. If it's a jar candle, you can kind of dig a little hole and put herbs in there, although that can be a little bit harder to hide depending on how you do it, because sometimes they just float up into the wax and it's like, why are there all these leaves in your candle? And you're like, maybe it was like a bath bomb. You can just pretend the candle was a bath bomb, but that's a little harder to hide. So draw a sigil in the candle, draw your intention in the candle, use the scent and the color of that candle as correspondences and do a spell. If you want to give an offering to a deity, a candle is a great way to do that. That's really discreet. Candles are wonderful and lovely. I'm looking at my list. Burning sigils. Again, fire safety for the third time. Fire safety. Very important. We love fire safety. I'm a Hestia devotee. I have a thing for fire safety. Fire safety is important. But you can burn sigils, or you can burn a bay leaf from your kitchen, because again, if you can find it in your kitchen, you can probably use it for witchcraft. That was my dog, I'm sorry. But yeah, candles. We love candles. Candles are great. I've gotten progressively more unhinged, so I had to set the tea down so I can make hand gestures. Shower and bath magic. Great way to very secretively do things, because I really hope that there's nobody in the shower or bath with you. If there is, that's a whole other problem. But shower and bath magic. You can use a shower or bath to spiritually cleanse yourself. That's all about intention. You can use specific bath and shower products. Like, I have a rose body wash. That's really great for self-love and also for cleansing, but especially for like self-love. Lavender products, really great for cleansing, things that are sea salt based. There are a lot of different herbs that you can find bath and shower products that are based off of those things. Shampoos, also really great. Head is a pretty big energy center, so that's important to cleanse. Put intention with your shampoo. If you can draw a sigil on that shampoo, if it's just your shampoo, do it. Absolutely do that. Bath bombs. Bath bombs. I do not see people talk about bath bombs enough because there are so many fancy dancy bath bombs that have herbs and things in them. Use that. That's a spell right there. That's a bath spell. I love it. That's a bath spell. I love it. I'm getting more and more deranged as this goes on. Herbs in your bath. Use herbs in your bath. Put little pockets of kitchen herbs in your bath. If you use a sachet for that, though, it can get really difficult to clean. I speak from experience, unfortunate experience. Do as I say, not as I do. Learn from my mistakes. We're changing gears here because I feel like we needed to. Glamour magic. Love glamour magic. You can do makeup with an intent and do sigils in your makeup. Again, I'm bringing up sigils. I love sigils. Could you tell? I probably not. Nail polish, you can use that for color correspondences. You can dress for color correspondences and use clothing for a specific intent, especially if that clothing has like flowers or something on it, like this shirt. Great for glamour magic and for correspondences. You can veil really discreetly using just like a bandana or a headband or a hat. So that's all different ways that you can practice magic. Again, I'm looking at my list to see if I missed anything. Dress as a devotional if you want to worship a deity. You can dress devotionally to that deity. It's great. Yeah, glamour magic. I'm going to be very brief about that because I want to do a video about glamour magic at some point, but glamour magic. We're going back to the kitchen thing because you can do a lot with things in your kitchen, specifically cooking and baking as a form of magic. Again, I'm a Hestia devotee. Can you tell? That's just eating a spell. It's eating a spell. You put herbs in a soup, congratulations, you're eating a spell. It's great. It's all about intention and using the things. Italian seasoning, great for prosperity and also somewhat for protection, but especially for prosperity. Pizza is a prosperity spell. I'm sorry, it is. It's great. If you're making brownies, you can put a little bit of cinnamon and cloves in there for protection. Tastes amazing, and it's a comforting, protecting food. So much stuff. It's just about intention and what you can do with that. And cooking and baking is a perfect example of that. There are so many recipes that you can incorporate things in. If you find a recipe that has a lot of seasoning in it and you want to look up the correspondences of those herbs, you can do that recipe if you're needing that kind of intent that day. It's really, really a really easy way to incorporate witchcraft in a fairly hidden way, because who's going to know that's what you're doing with your Italian seasoning? Who's gonna know? Who's gonna look at your Italian seasoning and go, yes, witchcraft? No one, unless they're a Puritan. So yeah, cooking and baking magic is one of my favorite things to do. Again, Hestia devotee. We love cooking and baking and bread. I love bread. I want to make bread. I should make bread. Comfort. Yes. Grounding. Bread's good for grounding, I think. It feels like something that would be good for grounding, just going based off of vibes. Cooking and baking magic. Yes, good. And now as we get more unhinged, we're going into the part of the video that I'm titling the Crunchy Mom / Chill and Oblivious Parent Specialty. Basically, things that I kind of got away with for a while until my mother saw the video clips that I had saved in my camera roll. Oops. But these are things that are pretty easy to get away with. In general. First of all, essential oils. If you have a crunchy parent, you probably already have essential oils in your house. So unless they bother you incessantly because of that instance, use essential oils. They're great for things. You can dress candles with them. You can use them for an intent. If they are safe to do so, you can use them in a bath. Do not use cinnamon oil. I beg you. Learn from my mistakes. If you go and follow me on a certain other app that kind of makes a sound like a clock, you'll understand why if you see a very specific video of mine, because it's bad. Do not get cinnamon oil on any kind of delicate skin. Do not put it in a bath. I beg you. But yeah, essential oils, great. Pretend that you're really into geology all of a sudden. Put crystals in there. It's great. That's just crystals. You can just pretend suddenly that you're very into geology. Worked for me. Pretty shiny rocks make gremlin brain go burr. Yeah, that works pretty well. If you're getting interested in paganism, you have suddenly gotten a very vested interest in mythology. This does not work if you have like stricter parents than mine that are very much like, that's of the devil. but mine were just kind of like, oh yeah, it's just a fantasy story. That's chill. And that is now why I own like 5 Greek mythology books. Online book PDFs, really great. Fantastic. Those are amazing. Love those. If they're, for legal reasons, I'm saying if they are legally purchased. For legal reasons. For legal reasons. Fabric book covers. I brought example. This bad boy is like single-handedly the reason that I got away with having so many books. Like, you can just shove this in here. Suddenly, you don't know what book I have. This could be just a perfectly wholesome piece of Christian literature, as far as you're aware. I also made some, like, paper book covers. It, like, lodges on the inside, but this is just a couple of pieces of printer paper that I taped together, which, like, up close, it looks really odd, like, really sketchy. But if it's just on a bookshelf and you decorate the spine a little bit, super discreet, especially if you have parents that don't really check through your books very much, or the parents that really like you just having books. As long as it's not just, like, out there suddenly, like, on display, it can be pretty easy to get away with. Shoe boxes. Store things in shoe boxes. Put them under your bed. It's great. I highly recommend. I have shoe boxes under my bed right now. I'm home. I have to keep things hidden. That's how it works. Congrats. You love herb gardening now. That's a really easy way to get away with things. That and the kitchen herbs. It goes back to the kitchen herbs. You can grow your own herb garden. You're just suddenly really into plants, house plants, and herb gardens, because those, fantastic. Love those. They're so useful, so incredibly useful, and people don't appreciate growing their own herbs enough. So suddenly, you're really into herb gardening, and then you can use those herbs for the kitchen that you're now, for the baking and cooking that you're now doing. Congrats. Love that. And yeah, houseplants. Houseplants are great. Love those. Very great. You can use those as a ward. You can use those in spells. Just looking up correspondences for things makes it really easy. I love houseplants. I have so many. So many have died. I cannot keep a basil plant alive to save my life, but I'm doing my best. It's like half dead right now, the 3rd or 4th one that I've gotten, but it's alive still. It's half dead, but it's still alive. So yeah. That's the miscellaneous tips / ones that you can kind of get away with if you have slightly negligent parents. I'm going to drink some tea and calm down now, but that is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope that if you are in a safe environment to be able to somewhat get away with things and it won't risk your safety, I'm going to say that again, that you enjoyed this and that these tips are useful to you should you need them. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and drink my tea and have a nice night. Hope you all have a good week. Blessed be.